Hello everyone! Alright, today we're diving into the best new 2D action roguelite or Roguevania side-scroller games you should check out in 2025. If you love Metroidvanias or fast-paced 2D platformers, this whole list is going to feel like home. Well, let's get into the list. Project TACHYON is a roguelike platform shooter set in a stylish, dystopian sci-fi world. Right from the start, the presentation is super strong. Great art, great voice acting, and a setting that mixes futuristic tech with old Roman-style vibes. It immediately grabs your attention. The combat feels fast, smooth, and fun, with bosses that all have different mechanics and patterns to learn. It's challenging, maybe too challenging at first, but you can lower the difficulty if you need to. The game may not be perfectly polished, but it has that passionate AA energy, big ideas that just need some refining. For the price, it's definitely worth trying, especially if you like side-scrolling action roguelikes. Atomic Owl immediately hit me with old-school anime energy. Colorful, dramatic, and stylish. The mix of pixel art and comic-style character portraits makes every scene feel like a manga panel brought to life. Gameplay-wise, it's a Roguevania side-scroller with smooth movement, simple but satisfying combat, and that classic roguelike loop of run, die, upgrade, and try again. Even though you play as a bird, there's no flying. Instead, the movement is fast and grounded. Double jumps, wall jumps, dashes with invincibility, all combined for smooth and snappy platforming. The combat is simple but flexible thanks to your 4 weapons, a fast katana, a heavy blade, a long-range chain whip, and a throwable hammer, plus extra tools like homing projectiles and a temporary turret buddy. Aura of Worlds is a creative tactical roguelite platformer from Cognitive Forge, and it does something really fun. It asks you to use your abilities and your creativity to turn danger into an advantage. Every run throws you into a new set of deadly rooms filled with enemies, traps, and hazards, and it's up to you to think fast, move smart, and survive. Right from the start, the game lets you choose your difficulty, easy, moderate, or hard. Easy gives you less XP and locks some achievements, moderate is the default, and hard hits like a truck but rewards you with more XP. The controls feel solid no matter what you pick. Keyboard and mouse or controller both work, and remapping everything to your liking helps a lot. Duil is a dark Roguevania, set in a cursed world where you play as Duil, a man who cannot die. His kingdom has been destroyed, his family executed, and he was left to rot in chains. But now he's free and ready to take revenge. In this game, you may be an immortal, but you are not safe. When you die, you're thrown into a shadowy maze. Escape it, and you return to the world. But you lose one item. Every death has a price. What really makes Duil interesting, though, is the choices you make. Will you show mercy or chase revenge until the end? Your decisions shape the path you take and lead to different endings. Mazgeon is an old-school arcade dungeon roguelike, full of retro pixel art, spooky vibes, and of course, lots of skeletons. In this game, Scythe, the Grim Reaper himself, has returned from hell to toy with the cursed town of Mazgeon. You can play as Dam the Warrior, Kuros the Black Wizard, or Fuma the Steam Gunner and head deep into the dungeons to fight Scythe's monsters and uncover the truth behind the curse. But let me tell you this up front, Mazgeon is not a walk in the park. From the moment you start playing, this game will completely overwhelm you. Most games with procedural levels try to keep things fair. Mazgeon doesn't care about fairness at all. If the game wants to spawn a monster that can one-shot you, it will. Your hero starts with just 30 health, while traps deal 40 damage. Yeah, good luck. MicroSStep is a fast and flashy 2D action roguelite where you play as Cross, a dual sword girl who becomes stronger every time she fights. But she's not the only one. You can also play as Khan, who can instantly dash through enemies, and Sei, who fights using ranged attacks. The game features a light, heartwarming story told through cute pixel cutscenes mixed with 3D backgrounds. You'll get fun dialogue between Cross and her friends as you progress. One thing that really stands out is the animation quality. Someone on the dev team clearly knows how to bring characters to life with the movement and timing. Leah Hacking Destiny is a 2D action roguelike set in a post-apocalyptic world, where machines have taken over and the last humans are fighting just to stay alive. You play as Leah, one of the unlucky people still stuck on old Earth, but she's far from helpless. She fights with a fast katana slash, a gun with auto-recharging ammo, and she can jump, double jump, wall climb up any surface, and dash around the battlefield. She's built for speed. Each run is built from a series of random rooms. Sure, some layouts start to repeat, but everything moves so fast you hardly even notice. Your goal is simple. Move through the rooms, collect the keys, and unlock the boss door. Beat the boss, go to the next biome. New area, new enemies, new boss. Keep going until you finally take down the final one. Hellbrella is a fast-paced aerial roguelite hack and slash where the only thing keeping you alive is pure aggression and insane combos. You play as a raincoat cat, yes, a cat in a raincoat, fighting your way through hell armed with nothing but an umbrella. You'll be flying through the air, smashing waves of demonic eyeballs with flashy aerial combos, collecting pupils for permanent upgrades, and using blood drops to push your damage even higher. So far, the game is really impressive. I love that you're encouraged to figure things out on your own. You choose where to go, what upgrades to pick, and what kind of attacks you want to use. And that freedom makes the roguelike feel fresh. Adrenaline Rampage is a fast and aggressive platformer roguelite where you blast through a dark sci-fi city full of techno-zombies. You play as a soldier who can carry up to 5 weapons using a set of skills as you rush through enemies, fight massive bosses, and try to survive the chaos. The game takes the Vampire Survivors formula and flips it into a side-scrolling, level-based 2D action roguelite game. Instead of surviving a timer, you clear a set number of stages and grab power-ups like you're playing an old-school arcade shooter. If you want another fun entry in the bullet heaven survivor-like genre, this one will give you a unique experience. Cryptical Path is a roguelite where you're not just a dungeon crawler, you're also the dungeon builder. You start in an unfinished dungeon with the boss marked somewhere on the map. Your job is to fight through rooms, earn currency, and then buy new rooms to place on the map, slowly creating your own path to the boss. And that's where the strategy comes in. You could build a straight line to the boss, but you'd miss treasure rooms filled with buffs, extra damage, healing after rooms, gold bonuses, and more. Sometimes you'll want to explore for upgrades, and sometimes you'll want to avoid elite rooms because they hit way too hard for what they give you. Code Reactors mixes 2D action RPG combat with roguelike deck building, and it works surprisingly well. You have your basic attacks, but all your magic comes from a card system, spells you find randomly or buy along the way. What I really like is that this isn't just a gameplay gimmick. The game actually ties the card system into its story, so it feels natural instead of forced. But the real standout mechanic shows up early in the game. Eve, the demon girl who supports the main character, Himari. Most of the time, she stays in a magical form and doesn't interfere, but during tough moments, she can step in, boost your abilities, or even transform Himari into a super-powered form that melts bosses in seconds. These moments feel amazing. Mother Machine is a new multiplayer roguelite platformer from Maschinen Mensch, the same studio that made Curious Expedition. The core of Mother Machine is co-op. You can play with up to 4 players, and the more people you bring, the more chaotic things get. Each player controls a cute little gremlin creature with strange powers, running around dangerous, ever-changing caves. Once you jump into a mission, the gameplay is pretty simple. Explore, climb, fight hostile creatures, and gather pink crystals that power your upgrades. The missions aren't complicated, but the caves look great and are surprisingly interactive. You can climb almost anything, swing from vines, and reach hidden platforms. It gives the world a very tactile feel.
What they started so far.
If you like Dead Cells, you will love an amazing wizard. The game will feel familiar to fans of Dead Cells, but it adds an interesting mechanic of its own. The whole game revolves around crafting your own spells. You can merge one spell into another to make unique effects, limited to 2 at a time. But the real magic happens when you start merging spells you already created into brand new ones. This leads to crazy chain reactions. Of course, there's risk. The more complicated your spell becomes, the higher the chance the merge fails and destroys one of the spells. They also get more expensive to cast, so you're always balancing power and practicality. Rusty Rangers nails that classic just one more run feeling. The gameplay is polished, the progression feels great, and all the unlockables keep pulling you back in, especially when you're about to call it a night. When it comes to gameplay, everything feels familiar in a good way. No complicated combos, no weird button inputs, just clean, responsive action platforming. You can move, jump, grab hooks, and dash even in midair. As you play, you'll also unlock new characters. Each one has different health, shield amounts, and firing patterns. It doesn't just add variety, it keeps every run feeling fresh and exciting. Dragon is Dead mixes the fast 2D action of Dead Cells with the insane loot and power fantasy of Diablo. It's a combo I didn't expect, but now I can't stop playing it. You play as the last survivor of an ancient warrior clan sent to kill a corrupted dragon. To get there, you run through random levels, beat mobs, grab loot, take down mini-bosses, and hope your build becomes strong enough to go further next time. And when you die, and trust me, you will, you start from the beginning. But here's the twist. You keep your gear, your legendary weapons, rare armor, and broken boots. They stay with you forever. That means every run starts stronger than the last. It's the same roguelike loop, but with Diablo's power fantasy baked in. Katanaut is brutal, fast, and ridiculously fun. This is a game where you slice your way through a space station full of zombie-like monsters, and the pixel blood flies so much you'll sometimes lose track of your own character. And honestly, that's part of the charm. Katanaut is the debut game from Voidmaw, a one-man studio by a developer named Eugene. This is his take on a sci-fi roguelite, and he definitely didn't hold back on the violence. During fights, the amount of pixel blood splashing across the screen is honestly ridiculous. It looks great, but it also makes battles chaotic. The enemies get lost in the mess, items get buried under red puddles, and sometimes you take a hit simply because you can't see what's happening. For anyone who hasn't heard of it yet, Neon Abyss 2 is a side-scrolling run-and-gun platformer with wild cyberpunk vibes. It mixes neon-soaked sci-fi with mythology and wraps everything in bright, stylish pixel art. It's easily one of the most colorful and fun-looking games in its genre. Gameplay-wise, Neon Abyss 2 feels fast, loud, and stylish. You're running, jumping, blasting enemies, and collecting random items that stack into ridiculous, overpowered builds. One of the biggest additions is the 4-player online co-op, and it works surprisingly well. You can split up and explore different rooms at the same time, collect your own coins, and build completely different loadouts, all without being glued to each other's screens. It keeps the pace fast and the chaos fun. Everyone's talking about Absolum, and yeah, it deserves the hype. But there's another roguelite side-scroller that quietly dropped recently, and it's honestly worth your attention. It's called Starfire Eternal Cycle, and even though it slipped under the radar, this game has a lot going for it. This game is a beat-em-up action roguelite built around its unique insectoid core system. You use different bug-themed upgrades to build endless combinations, and no two runs feel the same. When it comes to replayability, the heart of any roguelite, Starfire uses a non-linear build system. Unlike games where you commit to upgrades and can't go back, this one lets you detach and rearrange everything freely. It's harder for beginners, but it allows for way deeper experimentation. It's a little funny that we got another 2D Prince of Persia so soon after the last one. The Lost Crown was a Metroidvania. Meanwhile, the Rogue Prince of Persia is a roguelite. That means you get fun moves right away, like dashing and special attacks. But you'll also die a lot, especially to the first boss until you unlock a weapon you actually enjoy using. Just like the Lost Crown, the combat of this game is fast and stylish. Your dash turns into a vault if you do it next to an enemy, flipping you behind them for a clean backstab or a powerful kick. As for the movement, it might be even better. You can chain wall runs, jumps, dashes, and climbs in a way that makes even tough platforming feel like parkour heaven. Seriously, 2 new Prince of Persia games, back to back, and they are both great. Absolum takes inspiration from modern roguelites, so dying and coming back stronger is part of the story. What really keeps things fresh are the builds. You can choose from 4 unique characters, each with their own style, and then stack different rituals to create crazy combos. One run you might be an elven warrior firing off chain lightning, the next you're a mechanical assassin unleashing tidal waves and necromancy. There are also permanent upgrades you unlock between runs, so you always feel like you're progressing. The combat is fast, simple to learn, and incredibly fun to master. Big combos, air juggles, perfect dodges. Once everything clicks, you'll be tearing through huge battles against undead kings, giant monsters, and cosmic horrors. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more exciting new roguelike and roguelite games. That's it, and see you next time.